Handwritten assignments and in-person tests may become the norm again because of AI. Read a post recently where HS students had a research paper they had to handwrite and only work on in class. I think 7 class periods were reserved for it. No teacher wants to have to go back to deciphering students' handwriting if they don't have to. Unless those written assignments are in front of the teacher, people will still use ChatGPT and just transcribe whatever it regurgitates. I already saw footage of someone using a pen plotter printer as a workaround. Hell, my local library has a Cricut. Where do you live? Handwritten tests exams have never gone away for me. I'm a medieval education supremacist. Return to oral examinations. It's the only way. Online tests are already the problem, even without AI. No one needs ChatGPT when they already have Chegg. Those have never disappeared. Paper is more reliable and you can still write exams even when the internet is down. I'm desperately hoping that this breaks standardized testing. The greatest education system in the world, Finland, doesn't use standardized tests or homework, and this will drive that home. We'll actually need to hire more teachers and at better pay to ensure our kids are getting a good education. I think schools and universities will have to reassess how they test. Memorizing information has already been losing value for quite a long time, and we may just see the final nail being hammered. Individual assessment of logical thinking, problem-solving steps, and the way they deal with what-if curveball scenarios in the domain being tested not only protect against ChatGPT usage, but are also much better at preparing students to deal with real human jobs. Is this really a shower thought and not literally the first thing we all thought when news stories about kids using AI to write essays made the news? I have been in a lot of meetings about AI with some world-class innovators. My takeaway is that knowledge is no longer a requirement to do a thing. Rote memorization is no longer required to be an expert. We now have to make sure we teach children the basics of logic and critical thinking. We have to teach them how to utilize knowledge and how to act on information. We really have to change how we approach what needs to be permanently in our heads. Cheaters gonna cheat detection will just get better. Begun, the AI war has. Someone probably already has an AI that can train itself on a handwriting sample. I'm a prof at our end of term department meeting. There was some serious discussion about making a lot more oral finals, like for any classes under 25 students. It's a realistic possibility now. You can't really delegate oral exams to TARs, so classes with 100 might be too much work for the professor. Fast forward 50 years. AI saved humanity by forcing humans to have human interactions. I'm 2/3 world country, you don't have handwritten tests homework anymore. I just had AC coding exam today. I had to use a pen and paper. FML. Again. IDK about other countries, but they're still the main way exams are still done in the UK for GCSEs 15-16 and A-levels 17-18. Even for computer science, with some exam boards faced with rolling eyes. This dude thinks you can't just write down whatever AI tells you to SMH. Imagining someone programming a robot arm to use a pencil, then using AI to analyze their handwriting, imperfections included. Lots of work using job-applicable skills to avoid actually writing the assignment. I know it doesn't, but that feels like it breaks even. You still can just copy the AI-generated work by hand. In person would be harder to fake, but there will be solutions. Nothing stopping anyone just copying what an AI churns out onto paper. My ass would 100 get ChatGPT to type it up while I copy it word for word. People were cheating in classes long before AI was a thing. Not only that, but there are already relatively cheap contraptions that can write realistic human writing with mistakes and so on. The best way is to make 2-part test. First is to solve the problem and using available tools is valid. Second would be short 5-10 minutes talk with students about their work. Few good questions about content are more than enough to know how well student knows what they wrote. If they wrote it themselves, they know what they did and why. If they cheated, they either had to learn it or fail. Just write what the AI spit out. Tests are typically in person. The exams where I learned the most in my life have all been closed book written, so if you weren't taught that way, I'd say you missed out. We strictly handwrite our code exams because of this. Assignments and labs are up in the air now since ChatGPT can just do them. As a teacher, I hope so. Back to Handwritten and a nicely sharpened 2 Ticonderoga. Where are you all at? I go to a large state school, and my exams are always in person. Online tests have always been terrible as measuring knowledge because everyone can easily cheat, no matter how much you want to deny it. Online tests make degrees impossible to validate because you can just use your phone and circumvent the proctoring. We had online for 1 year and literally every exam was easily cheatable if you wanted. I do not think that's good for the integrity of our education. It's not like the jocks have been forcing nerds to do their homework for over a century now. The thing is, there has to be a way to prove that the person taking the test is the one that is supposed to be taking it. When I ran a lab at university, it never even occurred to me that the person that showed up may have been a paid imposter. Current TA here. We just finished the semester with in-person testing and blue books for this exact reason. This has already happened in my humanities classes. My English teacher won't even assign handwritten essays for home, only in class, because she thinks people will get Ari to write it and then just copy it by hand. They already are. I know teachers that only give bubble sheet treats and subscribe to a Handwritten-like service out of their own pocket. Kids airdrop screen caps, Ari etc. It's very frustrating. Yes, 10th grader, you wrote this poetry response. Now use the word elegiac in a sentence, properly. You did it once. My school, Thomas Edison Energy Smart Charter School, has already started implementing things about the AI propaganda. They're stopping giving us online essay assignments, and instead we have to go back to the system where they put an extremely restrictive system on our computers where we can't go on ANY website, not just something like OpenAI. And it all started because a kid had used ChatGPT to write an essay for an extremely important test. Why can't they just make a better way of teaching kids besides the billionaire-led worker spewing farm they use now? I just used AI to write an article for work. As someone whose job is not writing and I only have to do it once a year, I am thankful. They can also give computers with internet blocked so students with a bad handwriting can write that but still in class. You should look up the new TED Talk from Khan Academy. AI is about to change the landscape of education in an incredible way. Going back to paper is not going to happen and will be a detriment to the advancement of education. Using AI to provide students with a one-on-one tutor as they complete online assignments is going to increase our ability to learn and learn quickly. I doubt that handwritten assignments will become the norm. I do know that those in the education field and in favor of AI want students to find fallacy in the output of AI. So maybe they'll try to use AI for that, too. The most important thing should be the ability to find and convey the answer of thought, not the ability to memorize facts. I honestly don't really understand. In an university level, what LLMs can give you besides time saving, that Google can't. If they already grade only by assignments and online tests, both can and are cheated. Think about just hiring someone to write your assignment instead of you. Or just Googling online tests. If it's in person and written, then they can't really do anything with it. High school English teacher note. Turn it already checks for AI content for us and plagiarism.